Mr. D.
Hello, everybody.
How's it? Good evening. How are you feeling, sir?
A little bit better.
Good, good, good.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hi, Debbie.
Hello. How are you this evening?
Good.
Awesome. Everybody, I hope had an amazing Christmas.
It was
Yes.
very good.
Awesome.
Huh? Oh, I'm not muted.
Debbie, you started the new year in your background already.
We're getting prepared
Oh,
with all the sparkly. We only got a few days left.
There you go, Mom.
See all the sparkling saying almost over. Yay. Oh, we'll give it a couple minutes because at this point we don't have a quorum, so there ain't a whole lot we can do. The only ones present is Gary and myself.
Okay, Clarissa just sent me a text message. I'm gonna
Okay.
email her
Okay.
the link. She accidentally deleted it.
Okay.
So bear with me 1 minute.
Okay, and Lucette asked me for it yesterday and I sent it to her. She said she couldn't find it. So I sent it to her. She said she received it, so I'm hoping. So we'll go wait a few more minutes.
I just sent Clarissa the link and the ID and the password, and as well as Director Becknell.
There she is. All right, Clarissa's joining us now.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Awesome, thank you.
Hi, Shantae.
Well, I'm trying to read the name, sorry. Well, at present time, I guess we could go ahead and start the meeting. We have a quorum. Gary, Larissa, and myself. Alrighty. Okay, call the meeting to order. Can Mr. Reyes, can you please do a roll call? I'll call the meeting to order at, sorry, 6:35.
6:35, call to order. Director Lore, are you present? Director Lore? Can you hear me?
Okay, sorry, I was
Hello?
muted. I'm here.
Director Lore, present? Director Shields,
Present?
Director Usley,
Present.
Director Becknell.
Present.
Awesome. Okay, all
Awesome.
4
Thank
directors are
you.
present.
Let's see who we have here. Matthew, would you like to do the flag salute, please? The Pledge of Allegiance?
Okay. Everybody put their right hand over their heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge
Pledge
allegiance
to
to the
the
flag
Flag
of the
of the
United
United States of
States
America
and
and
to
to the
the
republic for which it stands,
one nation,
one
One
nation,
under
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 God, individual, with
with
liberty
lib-
and justice for all.
Thank you. Very good. Alrighty.
Appreciate it.
Now we have the approval of the agenda. Is there any changes that needs to be made at this present time? Before we do the approval? Anyone?
I have something.
Go ahead, please.
Since it's a special meeting and we already had our regular meeting, if we could take off all the extra reports and the director reports, I don't think we need all that on here.
Already, I
Everything
agree.
else is okay.
Okay, thank you. Can I get a motion to change, to remove that portion, the reports?
A motion to accept the agenda as is with the reports all removed.
Thank you. I will second it. All in favor? Mr. Reyes?
Aye.
Yep.
Aye.
Just writing it down. Yes. Changes will be made.
You need to do a roll call, right, Jose?
Roll call.
All in favor?
Okay, here we go. One more time. Roll call in favor of removing reports. Director Lohr,
Aye.
Director Shields,
Aye.
Director Yearsley,
Aye.
and Director Becknell.
Aye.
All right. All in favor and removing all reports from this special meeting.
Alrighty. Okay, so now at present time, we are going to have the approval of the agenda as stated, which we've already done, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Already, just making sure. Already. Any public comment?
I have a public comment.
Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Lise King, and I was hoping the Sheriff's Department would be on here tonight, but I don't see anyone representing Sheriff's Department. We've been trying to get a hold of you from the Barstow Women's Club to donate you small stuffed animals in little Ziploc baggies to be able to have in your cruisers to be able to hand out to children when dealing with them. As we all know that even in the best of times, interacting with the police can be quite frightening for children, and it can help put them at ease. So the Women's Club, in honor of Chris Matthews, we're continuing the donation drive for said animals, and we're looking for a connection there to be able to hand off animals. And that said, we'd also like to be able to offer them to Yermo Fire if they're interested in some. Please let me know how much you can handle on that. And of course, we'll be reaching out to Daggett and Newberry Springs as well, as we've already given quite a few to Barstow Police and Barstow Fire Service. And the Republican Women, the Mojave Desert Republican Women Federated will be having their regular meeting January, let me look at the calendar on that, the 14th at the Cattlemen's, $20 a person. Please RSVP. If you need a contact for that, reach out to me and I'll make sure you get it. I don't know who the speaker will be for January. And also just a comment regarding my recommendations. I hope that people took them as not me being against the idea of retaining the services of Mr. Reyes. As you will find when I speak during that agenda item, I actually have positive views on his behalf. So thank you very much, and I will talk later. Madam President, you're muted still.
So sorry. Thank you for reminding me. We skipping the reports. Consent to calendar. Items on consent calendar are two matters to format documents covering previous district board instructions. Items may be acted on by one motion of the board unless a board member requests a separate discussion and or action of the item. Alrighty? So moving on to new business. The first thing we have is a recommendation that the board of directors review, discuss and decide on the retaining the current general manager, Jose Luis Reyes. I hope everybody got that proposal. Would it be advisable at this time for us to go ahead and move to the budget and go back to that where we have a little more time have that out of the way? Or what is your opinion on that, directors? Director Lord?
I think if we were gonna do that, we should have done it when we, and
Okay.
switched the agenda items when we approved
Okay.
it. Sorry.
Sorry, I didn't think about it. I apologize. Alrighty then. I hope everybody had reviewed the attached proposal for Mr. Reyes. Did everybody receive and review?
Yes.
Yes.
Ms. Becknell?
No, I didn't get it.
Should have been in your email, Lucette.
With the agenda and everything.
Yes, I got the agenda, but that attachment, I don't know what was wrong with my email or what, but I didn't get that. Mr. Reyes' proposal.
Breakfast here.
Sorry, I'm switching over from my phone to my tablet, so I'm gonna be showing up twice for just a minute.
Okay. Mr. Reyes, do you have that in your view that you can send it to?
Yes, I will send that to her right now.
Thank you. Ooh, somebody's feedback there.
That's Clarissa on 2
It's
devices.
me, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get everybody out.
No problem.
I don't know why it's not letting me get out of the other one.
I just sent the proposal to Director Becknell.
Director Becknell, have you received it? Mr. Reyes, would you be willing and interested in going ahead and if you have your letter in front of you, reading it?
No, I haven't received it yet.
Okay, how about if we have Mr. Reyes read it? Would that be acceptable to you?
Yes, that would
So
be
you
fine.
receive it? Is that all right, Director Yersley and Lord?
Yes, that's fine. He can read his proposal.
Okay, Mr. Reyes, can you go ahead, please? Oh, there it is, Mr. Mr. Jim, sorry, is sharing it with us. Break bill, sorry. Director Bagnall, did you have a time to view it? It's on the screen.
Hello?
Yes, I am right now.
Ready, ma'am?
Do you still want me to read it?
Yes, also.
Okay. Um, Dear directors, thank you for taking the time to review my proposal letter. I was recently offered another opportunity for another position elsewhere, which I choose not to disclose at this present time. I would like to offer you the opportunity to retain me as the general manager in Yermo. In order for my retainment to continue with the Yermo CSD, I would like for the board to consider the following: an $18 per hour wage and a 40-hour weekly, basically hours, 40 hours a week. I do understand that I am not perfect, and I have made some errors. I have also learned a lot in the past 6 months working here at the Yermo CSD. I would like to express that I enjoy working with all my colleagues and learned how to work with the diverse personalities on the board and in the office. I would like to continue to work here if possible. I have seen and worked on the budget for the retainment, which on the budget, which I think the retainment is feasible. That being said, I leave it up to you to decide on my retainment. If the board of their directors decides not to move forward with my proposal offer in this letter serves as my 2 weeks notice of resignation from the date above. And in my 2 weeks, I am more than willing to train my replacement in order to guide him or her the proper way. Respectfully, Jose Luis Reyes, CSD General Manager.
All right, thank you. Any comments on that? At this time, let's take some comments and then go from there, please. Anyone?
Adam, are you asking the directors or are you asking the public?
I'm asking anyone. So
It-
comment, public comment, go ahead, please.
So normally when the board would be considering doing a pay raise, they would have a closed session to be able to discuss with the person the feasibility of that and their performance. I recognize that nobody's perfect, and I feel that my time with the general manager has always been received as someone who's open-minded and listening to all the ideas and is interested in improving. The agendas and pieces of information for the agendas, if they were available to him, were always sent in a timely manner. And anyone who might be left off, he made attempts to try to include or add. So these were things that in past situations under other people's management, we didn't have a receptivity for. So certainly I would like to consider you keeping him on. However, I disagree with the idea that the budget holds an amount for both a 40-hour work week for a general manager and a whatever amount of hours for a second person in the office. So you will have to consider that as well, both in this portion as well as the next portion that you wish to discuss. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you, directors.
Yeah, this is Gary. I wouldn't really think that this would be at our best interest, number one, in only having one person, which I think that this would be more than the budget is going to be able to hold available for the office, not having any backup for when they're sick or can't make it or whatever. I think the process which we've had of having a general manager with a second person to help was probably the best. Just as this was not brought to the board the right way, probably should have been brought in a closed session to discuss pay and stuff first and do a valuation. I think it would probably be best for us to continue to look for someone else and thank Mr. Reyes for the work he's done.
Okay, Ms. Salor, do you have anything to add to this? Ms. Lucette?
I think we need to consider it. It just seems like we go through a lot of personnel. And if we're going to get things to run the way they need to, we're going to have to change the way we're doing things so that we can keep a general manager.
Okay, Ms. Lore, or Director Lore, sorry.
Sorry, I agree with Lucette. We're going through them, we can't seem to keep somebody there that's gonna do the job, learn how to do the job, and stick with it, we've tried doing part-timers before, and they either go somewhere else or because they're not making enough money, or they don't want to learn the job and they just sit there and not do anything. However, I do agree that at this time, our budget is not going to allow for that amount of money. That's $720 a week on top of what we already pay for the second person in the office. And I don't know how our budget's going to be able to handle that. So even though I believe that we should offer additional pay rate and maybe some more hours to be able to keep a director, or a general manager, but I don't know if we're going to be able to support this.
Debbie, also, I just feel the same thing like Clarissa's saying. We don't really have any numbers before us. We haven't got a budget figured out yet. There's no proof that this amount will fly. So I can't really see where we can vote it in without some kind of evidence that the budget would support this and give a full 40-hour-a-week person $18 an hour. So I just think there's not enough information here for us to make a decent decision on.
Understand and under agreement, but the decision was made by Mr. Reyes. He wanted to present it. When it was presented, I suggested he does a proposal because he's under a time frame. He has, just like everything, which makes it kind of difficult because he has a time frame of he's got to let these people know that he can. So, but I wanted him to present it to the board just to let the board know what was taking place at this time and what we could do with it and be aware so that at this time, I don't feel the budget is going to allow it. I hate to see him go, but I still felt he needed to present it to the board. So that was my reason behind him letting you guys know or letting us know as a board. Okay. Yes, go ahead, Clarissa.
Yeah, so I asked how many hours the secretary worked. He's doing 13 hours a week, time minimum wage, which I believe is 15. Is that correct?
Yes, and they're both 13 hours.
Okay, so you do 13.
Yeah,
So that's 195 a week.
yeah.
Plus the 720 comes to 915 a week. And if you multiply that by 4 weeks, that's $33,660 a month out in just wages.
Right, right. So, Mr. Reyes,
Yes.
what is your thought on this? The directors have shared with you on our situation. I hope this is information that you needed. I don't,
Uh-huh.
um,
Well,
so,
it's totally understandable. I think with the numbers that the board is about to see, the budget is complete. I don't know why Gary was saying that it wasn't complete. We have it already completed. That's why it's on the agenda, so we can approve it and, submit it to the county. But with the numbers that you'll see, we could, we could, there's many things that you could do with this budget, but it all depends on what the board wants to do to make it feasible. But like I said, I do have a time frame that I need to answer to the people that are trying to recruit me. And from what I'm hearing is that it's not going to be feasible. So I'll take that as a denial of the retainment, which is perfectly fine.
Well, at this point, because it's and correct me if I'm wrong, Gary, because it is an agenda item, we are gonna need to vote as to whether we're gonna approve it or not approve it. Before
Correct.
we
It
go
has to
any
be,
further.
it does
Right.
have to be voted on to be a, for it to be finalized. You can't just go off what everybody's saying. So we'll have to have a vote for him to have the exact, how many for and how many against to know if it passes or not. But I
Correct.
did want to bring up one other point on the budget. This, as I've been trying to explain to him and some of the other board members, this is not the correct way to bring a budget to the board. It hasn't been brought before the public. It hasn't been put in the newspaper as a meeting for going over the budget. We haven't had a workshop on the budget. So this is just some of the things we're fighting with all the time is we're not getting the right procedures done to get these budgets done and all these things done. We've just got to be, we've got to get these things taken care of the right way in order to call it a meeting. There's no way it can be voted on tonight. It wasn't published right. It wasn't presented right. So there's none that could be done on the budget anyway tonight. But we do have to do a vote on this because this is an action item.
So for us to even present it to the public, don't we have to approve it through the board? Don't we have to make sure the board is okay with it before we say, here, public, this is what we're gonna do? I'm confused.
Well, we're working with voting on if we're going to accept Mr. Reyes's offer to stay
Alright.
with us. And then we go to the budget next.
Okay, I apologize.
Yeah, that's when we'll discuss all that, Debbie.
Okay, sorry, you got me confused. I took me off track there. Alrighty, so at this present time, we need a vote.
I'm sorry, I don't have the agenda item in front of me to motion, so
The recommendation that the Board of Directors review, discuss, decide on to retain their current general manager, Jose Luis Reyes. And that's what the recommendation is. And the
My
reason it
motion
was
would be
done.
to
at this
deny the
present-
recommendation for the, for Mr. Reyes's pay raise.
Okay. Do we have a second?
I'll
Do we have a
second.
second?
I'll second.
Thank you.
Sorry, I was kissing my grandkids goodnight.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Reyes, can you do roll call for votes, please?
Sure, no problem. Director Yearsley,
Nay.
Director Lohr,
Nay.
Director Shields,
Nay.
Point of order.
Yes, Lise?
The way the motion was presented was to deny the recommendation for Mr. Reyes to receive a raise. By voting nay, you're turning,
Gotcha. So Gary, we need to rephrase that motion.
you can either rephrase the motion or
Or
or have your vote be whatever it is that you want it to be. I just wanted to make sure that people understand.
Okay, we'll leave the motion the same. I'm sorry that's right. It should be the other way around.
Thank
So
you.
we could
Okay,
just
sorry,
start
I
over
can see
again.
the agenda now, so.
do you want me to do roll call one more time?
Yes,
Director Yearsley,
yay.
nay?
Yes, yay,
Oh, yes.
yes,
Okay. Director Shields,
Yes.
Director Lore,
Yes.
and Director Lore.
I said yes.
I'm sorry, Director Beckner. I'm sorry.
No.
Okay.
All right. Can, Mr. Breakbill, could you please put us back? I can only see the agenda at this present time. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. So what was your counts for votes, Mr. Reyes?
I have 3 yes and 1 no.
So the quorum is carried. Alrighty. Now we need to go on to recommendation, old business recommendation. It is recommended that the Board of Directors review and approve budget to submit to San Bernardino County. Gary, go.
yeah, Debbie, the way it's presented is not the legal way to present a budget for a final vote. It has to have 3 other areas done in it. First, we have to have a meeting with the public where they would come in and we would discuss it with them. Then we also have to post it in the newspaper and put it on a regularly scheduled meeting and go over it then. And then it would come to the next meeting for a final vote. So it
Okay.
can't be done this way.
Okay, I'm confused because explain to me, you're saying that this budget, however we did it, we have to put it out to the public and have them approve it or disagree with it before we can make a decision. Is that what you're saying? I'm trying
Right,
to understand.
it's not agendized, right? It takes, you can't just do one and put it before the board to vote for. The public has to be involved. It has to be put in the newspaper. It has to have other steps to it. This is
Okay.
not the proper way to do it. So we'll have
Okay.
to come back
Okay.
and do it the right way.
Okay, because I'm confused, because I'm thinking we need to make sure this is the way we want to do it. And then it goes to the public, so the public can agree or disagree, and then we go from there. Because we have a time frame of when this budget has to get in. So.
But Debbie, it has to start with a workshop.
Okay, so what you're saying is then we can set up a budget, but we don't have anything else to do with it other than it goes to the public. And if they say, no, we don't like it, we don't want it this way, then we
No.
start over again. Is that what you're saying?
Debbie, okay, relax, okay?
Just
There's
confused.
certain
I'm trying to-
steps that we have to follow.
Okay.
Instead of us discussing it here, we need to get on and you can read on exactly how to do it. But we
Okay.
have to have a workshop. We have to come back with that workshop thing to the board where the public will have a chance at a meeting to talk to the board for changes. And then we come back for a final vote to be able to present it. So it takes about 3 months by the time you can do it from start to finish.
Okay,
And
so then,
you just can't bring it onto one meeting and have ready to go and vote for it, approve it and send it off. You can't do that.
okay,
so-
so then it was confusing because it was hard to get a hold of every member that was on the budget committee because everybody was having issues and things happening in their life. So it was kind of tough. So, okay, at
But
this.
Debbie, the
present-
budget committee is not even part of it.
Okay, so what do you mean? Okay, I'm confused. Come back to me. I'm sorry.
The budget committee is the board's way of getting everybody together from the board
Okay.
but you still have to have a workshop. You'll need to, I'll get you the information on where to go to give you the steps on exactly how it's got to be done, but this isn't the way to do it. So we cannot finalize it tonight.
It's funny because this is the first time I'm hearing about this, and there was no,
Jose, I've talked with you several times on which way it's got to be done. When you come to Morongo, we showed you what had to be done. We showed you where it had to be done. We even showed you where to go to get the listing on how it needed to be done, but this is not the way.
when I went to Morongo, it was a 1-day workshop, and I was only given paperwork, and then that was it. I try to communicate with you more. to get more information to feed my brain and to get this done properly. But you're harder to get a hold of than the president. And it's pretty difficult to accomplish a job when not everybody is participating and trying to help the general manager accomplish their task.
Okay, well, we
Especially
can
someone-
go over it later, but I'm just saying right now, we can't approve it tonight this way. We need to come back and do it the right way, and then we can.
Jose, great job. You worked hard. You did what you needed to do.
Yep.
Apologize. I was on the impression that we had to make sure that we were in agreement, and then it would go to the public and so on and so forth. So my error, I apologize for that. Okay, so Mr. Yearsley, when can you help us get this done? Because we're already at a deadline and we're gonna miss out on, we're gonna miss out, but that's okay. When can you help us out, please?
I'll get a hold of who's ever going to be in charge, whoever, and I'll tell them where to go and they can read it right out of the regulations. Then that way it won't be me telling them what to do. So who's ever, I don't know if Jose will still be here or somebody else, but we can go that route.
Well, his 2-week notice was on the 23rd or whatever, so I don't know. It doesn't seem that way, but okay. So I need a motion. Okay, go ahead, Clarissa. I'm sorry, hon. I didn't see your hand.
Yeah, so Debbie, the reason it has to go to the public is because say we want to do, and this is just an example, $5,000 to do park maintenance or whatever. And somebody from the public doesn't agree with that, saying that we spent too much money or whatever, then they can make that suggestion. Then the board goes back, takes those suggestions into consideration before we get the final budget ready to go. But Gary, if you could send those directions to Jose as well as Debbie, so they can both read and see what the next steps are. And then if we could go ahead and get the committee meeting going, because I believe you guys are done as far as the budget committee, correct?
Yes, we are done.
Gary,
I wasn't on this committee.
I thought you were on the budget committee.
Well, I didn't, when he started sending out things, he didn't send one out to me, so I didn't know when they were doing them.
Okay, my understanding was that Jim and Jose both were in contact with you. So I take them on their word. So apologize if I misunderstood.
Well, I didn't get any emails on when it was supposed to be and stuff, so. I know Jim was helping him, because Jim
Yeah,
let me know he was.
Yeah, and Gary was the one responsible for providing me with the template. And Jose was responsible for getting the numbers. So, even though Gary wasn't there, I valued his input. And, but it wasn't really a budget committee meeting. But Gary did keep in touch with me and answered any questions that I did ask of him.
Okay, so then at this time, I need a motion to table this, I guess, and we'll just have to go another year, I guess, without getting it
Well,
turned in.
what we need is not for everybody just to say we're gonna go another year, I guess. We need to get it actually figured out who's gonna be in charge of this committee. And if it's Jim or whatever, we need to get some people to help him so that we can get this going and get it to be able to put it before the public.
Yeah, we can't go another year. We need to continue to finish it.
Okay, so then at this present time, can you, Gary or Jim, somebody please intercede here and try to get this? We need to get this done. We have limited time.
Okay,
I'm appreciating any assistance. I was working with Jim and Jose, and my understanding was they were in contact with you. So I felt that it was good. And I know there was some email sent to the community. And I don't know what that perceived of. I not sitting and watching and making sure that they're doing what they're telling me they're doing, because I'm trusting them. But if I overlooked something, I apologize. I thought we were good. So at this present time, I think we need a motion to table this until the next meeting. I'm assuming, Clarissa, is that how we would have to handle that?
Yeah, we would have to motion, or we could just say we're tabling it. We don't need to vote on tabling it. But we
Okay.
do need to ask Gary and Jim if one of them would be willing to step up and take the reins on this.
I'm asking one of you gentlemen to please step up and take the reins on this. I'm a little confused on how it's
Well,
supposed.
I have no problem working with Gary, but I'm not going to shoulder this by myself. I will work with a committee to move forward, but we need to decide tonight who's going to be on that committee and not wait till the next meeting.
Gary, would you be
can-
able to take that?
Yeah,
take
I'll
that-
work with Jim on that. Yeah.
and-
I'm a
and
little
I'll-
confused because I thought we already had a committee
We did.
for it.
Yes.
That's what I thought as well,
The,
Lucette,
the,
but.
the committee, from what I was told, was Director Shields, myself, Gary Yearsley, and Lise King, and
And
also the collaboration of Jim Breakbill. That was the committee that I was told that was on the committee, on the budget committee.
So at this point, Gary and Jim say they're willing to take the reins, Lucette. So what we need to do is those people like Debbie and, well, yeah, Debbie can be on it because we can only have 2 board members. And then Lisa, if she's still willing to, Gary and Jim can take point on that and get in contact with the people for the committee, and they can schedule it from there.
Yes, and Jose's already provided us with the numbers from the county.
And
Yeah.
I could do as much as I can until my last day. I'll be more than happy to still help out and try to execute this to the furthest of my ability.
And- And my statement is this: if one of the other directors will feel better about doing it, I have no problem with that. I was just trying to have enough people where we could get it done. So I don't have an issue with that. I just want us to work together as a team and try to get this done because we need to get it finished. So Gary and Jim, I appreciate you stepping in again and taking over. And if Miss Lucette or Mrs. Laura, if you're interested in stepping in, that's fine with me.
I don't have time at this time to step in with Rick's health problems.
Okay.
I'm barely keeping my head afloat.
Miss Lucette, Miss Becknell.
No, I think you're doing a fine job with it.
Well, thank you. I'm trying, okay? I'm not an expert. I'm not professional. Perfect, I guess that's the word. I am trying to do what's best interest of the community and for each group member.
And just for the record, Debbie's been in constant communication with Jose and myself on this and getting the numbers from the county and making sure parks and recs and other things were taken care of on this rough draft that we put together. So it's not like Debbie sat there and did nothing. I just
Right.
wanted that. for the
Well,
record.
and
Thank
I
you,
think
Jim.
at this point, it was just a lack of communication as far as the committee section goes.
Somebody
But I
needs to
think now
ask,
that,
somebody needs to ask Lise. I didn't hear from her.
I'm sorry, you guys are talking. I didn't want to talk over you.
Yeah.
I accept being on the committee. That's lovely. I just have one caveat to that, and that was the last meeting I was invited to was on a Wednesday. That's the only day I have board meetings and work. So it's not a day that is available for that. And also I agree that Jose and Debbie and Jim and you know, and of course Gary have put efforts into making this come together. What I can say is it sounds like we are ready for a workshop to be scheduled. And if that is at all possible to be scheduled within the time frame of Jose still being here, that would be lovely, so that we can get input from the community, or the potential input from the community, about areas that we need to be considering that perhaps are blind spots for us as we look at this so often. And the only other thing is that if the numbers that were in this thing, the document that was sent as a proposed budget are the numbers, I did have questions. I'm hopefully, Jose, you'll be able to get back to me on some of the questions I had, so that I can look at those numbers objectively. I'd
Yes,
appreciate
no problem.
that. Thank you so much. And like I'd say, I do want to say, Jose, I really have appreciated your efforts to keep people like myself and other people that I know who have requested things from you and the agendas in the loop. And you did in that portion for sure. Please don't consider yourself someone who made mistakes. So thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Jose, can I ask when your last day will be?
It would be, let me see. I'm checking my calendar.
And again, like Lee said, this is not any reflection at all as you being the general manager. This is just the specifics that we, at this point, don't see that we'd be able to afford that. But I would like to try and get this meeting done while you're here. But from my calculations, it looks like the 6th of January would be your last day.
That is
And
correct.
yeah, so like I said, Gary and Jim will have to take the reins on this since they've agreed, and if they can get together and do what needs to happen next and contact everybody, that would be great. So I recommend that we table it for now, with Jim and Gary getting in contact with the committee members to set up the next step.
Thank you. And also, Jose, I know you have a short time, and if you could do the workshop and anything that you possibly can do. I know it's adding a little bit of time to you as far as you're trying to establish a new connection, but if possible, I would greatly appreciate it. If not, it's very understandable. Thank you.
I'll do my best, President Shields.
Okay,
I'll keep on doing what I could do at the office,
okay,
and I'll try to execute what I could execute in that time frame that I have left.
all
And,
right.
with no issues and no problem. I'm more than
Thank
happy
you.
to do that.
Thank you for all you do. I greatly appreciate it. Any other things that we need to take care of at present time? We are tabling this.
That's all that was on the agenda, Debbie, so we
Yeah.
can't add anything else.
No, I'm just asking about what we just discussed, okay?
Okay,
Anyway,
gotcha.
okay, so if we have nothing further, okay, at present time, we have came to agreement with the general manager's proposal. We've all agreed what has to take place at this present time. If we had more time, maybe things would have been a better way of time frame, I guess. Also, the budget, we're tabling that. Jim and Gary are taking control. We're looking for the workshop. Jose's willing to help and take control if possible to get that completed. If there's nothing else, we can adjourn the meeting. I need a motion to adjourn the meeting, please.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I second.
Jose, can you please call roll?
Yes, Director Shields,
Yes, sorry.
Director Lohr,
Yes.
Director Becknall,
Yes.
and Director Yearsley.
Yes.
All right, it's unanimous. This meeting is now
Meeting
adjourned.
adjourned. Thank you all for showing up. I hope you all had a fantastic Christmas and that you'll have an amazing and safe New Year's.
Happy New Year's,
Everybody, happy.
Safe.
Happy New Year's. Take care.